And welcome into a Thursday edition of the Backstage Pass. Of course, the final show of the week as we take off just a couple of days there to kind of enjoy the weekend. The cooler weather still trying to get down here a little bit, but I tell you, this rain off and on here in Texas has been kind of a little bit of a loose cannon, but hopefully we get a little bit better forecast going into the weekend for a big festival this weekend. Saturday night, Texas country artist Wade Bowen at the Wendy Rice Festival coming up Saturday night. And then next weekend, I'm going to have a treat, Kirsty. I'm going out to Austin for McBride and the Ride. Terry McBride, 90s country group. They're getting back together for a few shows and tour in Texas down here. So that's going to be fun in Austin. And just was on the phone today getting some more stuff done as the Backstage Pass continues to grow and presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Brandon Morrell and Kirsty Krause here. And of course, Miss Krause is going to be busy along with Jeff McMahon next Tuesday at the Love for Music City Gala in Nashville, of course. That's going to be a lot of fun there, and covering the red carpet. Look, she's wearing the red hat today.
And the whole night is to honor Crystal Gale, so I'm just super excited to be a part of the event and for us to be doing media for it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun too. And I tell you what's great is when people don't forget their roots and they stay right there, traditional country music and that Western lifestyle. And I would tell you what, she's young, but she's got a powerhouse voice out there. Mikayla Lane joins us here on the Backstage Pass. How you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
We're doing
good.
Fine.
Thanks.
So good to have you here. We appreciate you joining us too, and always love to learn about new artists here on the program. Well, let's start at the top too, because like I said, you're still young, so you got this music bug. I guess bit probably early a little bit when you knew you could take this from a hobby to doing this full time. Of course, I know you're still in school. Just tell everybody about being Oklahoma native and kind of sticking to those roots, man, because you're really doing that with this latest EP. I love this. Miles from Nowhere is out across all the digital platforms, and just the Western lifestyle. You're no stranger to it. You love that traditional music. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, thank you. So I was actually born in Kentucky. I moved to Oklahoma whenever I was 10. But I love Oklahoma. It was a great move. My family loves it. The Western lifestyle is very much more prominent here than in Kentucky, and I love that. My dad has been in the cattle business all of his life. He's now in the oil business now, but that's what he loves doing. That's what our family is used to, and we all love it. And that influenced my music, pretty much all of it. I mean, it influenced it very heavily. And I started singing whenever I was 5. So that would be back in Kentucky I started. And then whenever we moved here, I pursued it stronger, I would say. It was something that I really decided that I wanted to do, and I got more focused and more serious about it. I started performing my own shows at 13, and I started playing All Red Tishomingo at 13, and that's been really cool to be a part of that chain, just because they're really supportive of all their artists. I'm about to play every location once I play Orlando coming up, but it's going to be really exciting, and it's been really fun to be a part of that. But that kind of lifestyle just really influences my music because it's very specific to a certain crowd. And I feel like that crowd is really proud of what they do. They all work really hard, and it's kind of its own community. And it's really cool to be a part of something that's kind of its own and special to a group, instead of not like in a cliquish way, but just in something that's kind of your own and it's original and authentic. And I think that that's super, super cool and really important. So with this EP, this is my sophomore EP, I really wanted to influence, or the older Western music really influenced this music for me. But also I wanted to kind of bridge the two. So kind of the more traditional country bridge with the modern country that you're hearing on the radio now. Which I like both of them, but I would say I lean more towards the traditional Western country, like Texas red dirt type of sound. I think that's really cool now. And we tried to merge the two, and I think we did a great job with that because, in each of the songs, they have a traditional feel, but there's also, like, you can tell it's newer music just because of some of the instruments you hear and the production and that sort of thing. So that's really what we tried to do at this EP. And I feel like that these 4 songs really branded me into what I want to be looked at as, and how I want people to perceive my music and my brand. And I think we really did that with this EP. And like finding your sound as an artist is really important. And I was really excited because with Miles from Nowhere, I think that's what we did. So
I would have to agree. And we have Henry tuning in saying he definitely likes a mix of the classic and new. We have Debbie tuning in, love from Wisconsin. Stacy Old, hey, what's going on?
that's my mom.
She's your hey mom. You should be very proud. So as we're talking about this, talking about celebrating this record that came out on September 10th, what was it like writing for it and then choosing the songs that are going to be on this project? Like, was it overwhelming? How did that work?
The first song that I was part of the writing process was it was Wild Like the Wind, which is my single right now. And I think with that song, I came to my producer and I kind of said, it was kind of just like, well, let me back up a little bit. So I'm also part of the nation's largest youth rodeo, Vegas Toughest Rodeo. And
I was going to ask, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Thank you. I don't actually participate in the rodeo, but I'm kind of like a brand ambassador, if that makes sense, for the rodeo. And being a part of that, kind of seeing that every day, or not every day, but very often, it really influenced the way I thought about things and the different things that go on in each of those people's lives. You kind of wonder, like, because there's always the typical cowboy riding away type of deal. And that is pretty much what rodeo is all about, is like being gone all the time, just trying to make all these rodeos. And I kind of thought, I was like, well, what does being alone on the road, going to all these rodeos mean for your husband or your wife back at home who's like always alone or you're always gone? They can't always come with you. So I kind of wondered what that was like. So I came to my producer and we thought about it for a little bit and we ended up writing that song, which is kind of just about, like I said, the cowboy riding away. The girl is at home and the cowboy's always gone doing whatever. So that's kind of how that song came about. I think that's my favorite off of the EP. And that's why we chose it as the singles, just because I was really attached to it, because I had a big hand in that one, especially. That was probably the most that I put in was with that song. And we really worked together on the production a lot, and it was really cool. I love being like hands-on on the projects and stuff, and production is my favorite thing to be a part of. So it was really fun to just kind of create something that was really cool out of nothing. And I think that's what's awesome about being able to do music, is being able to create. And so that song was probably what I had the most part in. But Love You Like I Want To, it's doing really good. That's kind of just I always describe it, I always say this, I kind of just describe it as like your typical Oklahoma love song. It's just because like you can't like hang out like how Love You Like I Want To is written. You can't hang out like that in New York or like something. And I think that it's really specific to Oklahoma, Texas, like the Midwest area. And where the foxtail grows, that's kind of, we actually were on a trip to Las Vegas for that rodeo. We went out to check out where the NFR was going to be and all that. And we went to different locations to do some photo shoots. And we went out to Amboy, California, and just all these like really deserted places that were really hot. There was no shelter. And we were kind of wondering like, what would it be like to live out here? And that's how Where the Foxtail Grows came about, just kind of talking about the West and the landscape and all that. And then Come Home is very specific to my life, because it's about being on the road at such a young age and trying to balance school with family and then having friends and a social life and that sort of thing. So that's a little bit of what all the songs are about, but they're all really specific to me, and especially Come Home. That one is probably my favorite to perform live, but it was a really cool project and I had a big part of it. So it was really cool to get to do that.
Yeah, this was the last day of September, and of course, so you guys put that out September 10th. It's out there across all the digital platforms. Miles from Nowhere, featuring Mikayla Lane. Some great songs on there too. Broke it down there. Well, I tell you what, let's have you play one for us. I'm going to talk about this single that I like too, called Superman, which came out last year in 2020. Let's have you play one for us. I always say dealer's choice. pick anyone off there because they're 4 fantastic songs. So let's have you
Well,
play one for us.
I'm gonna have my producer accompany me. So,
All right.
Yay.
yeah, so
That'll
we'll
work.
play Love You Like I Want To, if that's okay.
That'll
Awesome.
work. Here we go.
Said you knew what you wanted, and that was not it. Surely you don't mean it. Honey, you're missing out on the country wild one. Yeah, I gotta let you see it. Fireworks from a tailgate blanket. George Strait on the radio, crank it up. It's okay to slow down as long as we can make it up. Let me love you like I want to. Give me something I belong to. Give me just a little time to change your mind before there's no turning back. Let me show you how it could be, and you'll never be lonely. I know we could be better. I'm talking forever if you let me love you like I want Muddy boots and a short skirt, stealing your shirts, innocent but deadly. Got a bonfire burning, wondering when you're gonna see what I see. Paradise on a back road waiting for a look, then a kiss, and we park the truck. It's okay to slow down as long as we can make it up. Let me love you like I want to. Give me something I belong to. Give me just a little time to change your mind before there's no turning back. Let me show you how it could be, and you'll never be lonely. I know we could be better. I'm talking forever if you let me love you like I want to. Love you like I want to. This ain't a puppy love daydream, and this ain't all in my head. It's a dirt road Cinderella story. We're gonna find out how it ends. Let me love you like I want to. Give me something I belong to. Give me just a little time to change your mind before there's no turning back. Let me show you how it could be, and you'll never be lonely. I know we could be better. I'm talking forever if you let me love you like I want to. Love you like I want to.
Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mesh base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And we're back just doing that. Here's the final show of the week for us here as Nashville recording artist Mikayla Lane. The EP is Miles from Nowhere, and that is the first song off there, Love You Like I Want To. And can't wait to check out the rest of those songs. If you haven't done that already, make sure you get that out there and give her likes across all the social media out there. Getting ready for the big event, the Love for Music City 5th Annual event next Tuesday. Kirsty and Jeff on the red carpet, so be sure and tune into that next week, honoring the great Crystal Gale from Franklin, Tennessee, I believe. And I think it's the estate, the former home of Reba McEntire's, where this is actually going to be taking place next week. So you guys are going to have a fantastic time out there, no doubt. Again, presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Let's talk about I want to talk about this one real quick. This is a fantastic song, and I love the way it led off the EP. I know you touched on a few of those songs, but let's go back to one that I like called Superman. And I wanted to get the backstory of this one because you guys did put this out last year, of course, I know during the pandemic. Give me the backstory on this one.
Well, so this one I honestly didn't fully relate to because I haven't really been in a relationship like that. So it was kind of just like assuming what other ones are like, and it's kind of just the whole story of like someone like trying too hard to like please the other person and trying to do all these big like dramatic things to appeal to the person or to try to make everything seem all great and perfect. And it's kind of just like, dude, you don't have to like be that. You can kind of just like calm down. Like it's really not that big a deal. And it's kind of just like hanging out or spending time together, the little things that matter more, instead of being this whole dramatic like thing of trying to impress the other person or doing all these things to make it seem worth it. It's kind of just like the smaller things, but that's kind of the whole idea. I was just trying to think of other people. I was like, how could someone relate to this? Because I definitely can't, because I haven't been in that situation. But it's a really cool song, and it was really fun because it kind of took my music to another level from my first EP, and I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to explore new stuff, like new content, but you have plenty of time to date, girlfriend. And right now you're killing it on the music front. Stacy, I don't know if you agree, but she doesn't have to date anytime soon.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she agrees.
She agrees that way too. I know for you guys, this year was still busy too, and people said they kept busy during the pandemic. A lot of artists did that, found ways to keep busy, even outside of music. But you guys put out a great song I like too called Drive. Tell me about a Drive and how much fun that was to work on.
That was really fun because we kind of timed it to the point that I would be driving. And my birthday's in March, so I haven't been driving for super long. But I mean, I kind of have because I like grew up doing it with my dad and stuff. But it was really cool because we kind of thought back to what my mom's experience was like, and her first car was a Firebird, like I mentioned in the song. And I thought that was like a cool car. So we kind of surrounded it with that idea, and then bringing in the idea of me driving. So it's a really like kind of simple, it's not like a whole big storyline type of deal. It's kind of just the simple things of like trying new things, and like driving is a new thing for me. So that's kind of what the song was about. But it's really fun. It has a really cool sound. People really love that song when we perform it. So
yeah, I know you've become kind of sought after for fairs and festivals, and now that things are kind of getting back, and I guess to some sense of normalcy a little bit, and things are continuing on with some cancellations here and there. But I mean, for the most part, artists are staying busy with these live shows. We got a big festival coming up this weekend here in Winnie, Texas, down here where I live. To be kind of sought after and to play those venues and to play the different fairs and festivals in front of the crowd, tell me what kind of rush you get on stage.
Well, on stage, everyone says at a point, like, you won't get nervous, like, these big stars, they don't get nervous or blah, blah, blah. And that has not happened for me yet. I have not hit that point. I definitely still get nervous before shows. It kind of depends. Like, if I feel a little bit unprepared, especially, that really like just comes to my mind, and I just think about that, and it makes me really nervous. But if I'm prepared and I feel like I know the show really well, I know how things are going to run, I get a little bit nervous, but it's like good, like fun, nervous energy. It's not like crap, like I don't know what the heck I'm doing, you know? So I definitely still get that kind of nervous energy, but it takes me about, I would say 3 songs. It takes me about 3 songs, and then I'm totally good, and I can just do my thing. But I would say at the beginning, I do get a little bit nervous, but it's not overwhelming. I remember when I was younger, I would get like real nervous, but it's not as bad. But I still think as I continue, I'm going to be nervous, just in the fact that I want to do a good job. And I think that I get nervous to like be sure I'm going to do my best. But it's so fun though to be able to connect to people. And I would say meeting people after the shows is definitely my favorite thing about performing, just meeting new people and connecting with them. So I think it's really fun, even though sometimes it's scary.
Yeah, we'll talk to do some shout outs. What's coming up for you as far as shows? We had a listener, Henry, tune in, say, what are your tour plans? So throw it out there. Maybe they can come see you.
Well, on October 9th, I'm going to be doing my own full band show at Old Red Tishomingo. on, I don't know the specific date, but I'm going to be in Florida playing at, it's like a really cool venue. It's like a tiki bar type thing on the beach. I'm going to be opening up for Southbound 75. And I'm really excited for that. But honestly, I don't have like a bunch of shows like Bam 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 scheduled out. We kind of do it as they come along. But right now, those are my biggest things. I would say coming up October 9th is what I'm most excited about because I've just been with that brand so long that it's really exciting to finally have my own ticketed show. I'm really excited. So I think that's the most important one coming up that I'm super pumped about.
I like that. And he says he's in Tampa, so maybe he can make it the Orlando show. So
There you go.
So that's pretty cool there. And that's pretty awesome. And of course, MikaylaLaneMusic.com out there for the latest, as most of the artists do keep the updated tour information on the website there. Just looking it up. Yeah, Ole Red October 9th, and then also Ole Red October 23rd, that Saturday. You're looking forward to those two performances there too. So definitely check her out, MikaylaLaneMusic.com for the latest there. Henry, great question. Thanks for asking. If you got questions out there, leave them in the margin, and we'll get to them at the same time. Well, let's bring your producer back in. Let's play one more from the EP, which is awesome out there. Again, Miles from Nowhere, across all the digital platforms. Get that one. Superman, just as I always say, get them all, especially this time of year with Halloween and Christmas coming up too. I know people have those iTunes gift cards. Go spend it. Go do that out there. Here it is, Mikayla Lane on the Backstage Pass, presented by Bangtail Whiskey. It's all yours.
All right, we're going to do Come Home. Days like this, I don't feel like the same kid that dreamed of the day my name would be living on the top 10. I can still remember it. I spend most nights on a stage with a good song, and all these strangers come 100 miles just to sing along. How could it ever be wrong? But this is our last stop, and then I'm gone. Where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning, Mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer, what I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think I sparkle underneath these lights, you should see me when I come home. All I see of my friends is a cell phone. I smile and say it's alright, but you just don't know. I'm surrounded feeling so alone, but I do it all again for one more show. Long as I still got a place to go, where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning, Mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer, what I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think I sparkle underneath these lights, you should see me when I come home. Ooh, when I come home. Yeah, I do it all again for one more show. Long as I still got a place to go, where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning, Mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer, but I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think I sparkle underneath these lights, You think I sparkle underneath these lights. You should see me when I come home. Sorry.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by thesportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-hosts Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by thesportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Hey, and that was Mikayla Lane singing one of my favorites, Come Home, off of her new EP, Miles from Nowhere, that just came out on September 10th, which you all should check out. Very beautiful job, nicely done. You guys, so cool to be able to hear you perform it live. So thank you for doing that here on the Backstage Pass, powered by Bangtail Whiskey. So what we were talking about earlier, and we kind of hinted towards this, I wanted to make sure I asked you, being just able to drive, juggling friends and schoolwork and music and shows on the weekend, how do you do it? Is there any particular... Do you write it down? Do you really look at your calendar every day? What does that look like for you to be able to do all your homework?
School is not very much my forte. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it gets pushed back to oh yeah, I forgot I have school to do when I get home. So I really try to make free time and having time with my friends, whether that be doing something or just kind of just hanging out. I try to make that pretty important just because, I can really get caught up in all of the busyness of my life and my schedule. And then I forget oh, I'm 16 and I'm still in high school and I still need to get in on those experiences, So I do online school. So that really has helped me a lot. I have a lot more time to be able to do things like this and to come into my studio every day pretty much and see what I have planned for the week and kind of work as we need to instead of balancing school and then having to get off school and come here. So online school was a really good move in that aspect, but my mom is really schedule oriented and she's really on time, like a list. I always
have to do it. Yeah.
I always bug her about my list. I'm very much the opposite way. I just kind of go with the flow and I always forget. I'm very much kind of not super organized in that aspect. But she has helped me a lot with that. She will put together kind of a schedule deal and make sure that I have all my priorities done. And that's been super helpful because Lord knows that I would literally forget everything if I didn't have my mom reminding me. But that's been really helpful with all of this. And it has forced me to kind of build my own self a schedule. I get up the same time every day, or I try to. And I just try to get my stuff done. And on the weekends is kind of whenever I can hang out with my friends or go to a football game or whatever it is. That's kind of my time that I have to myself. And it's been really fun to be able to learn how to figure that out because sometimes it will get super busy and really stressful. But most of the time it's really good for me because I'm blessed to have a place like this where I can have my recordings and my parents all in one because this is their office space and I have a studio in it, and it's really awesome to be able to have that. So that's been really great because during school I didn't really have that and it was really chaotic. But this year it's been a really great kind of learning curve to figure all that stuff out. So it's been fun.
I love that too. And who would you say was your biggest musical influences? I guess influences out there and the influence at the same time. Started singing. You mentioned you were 5 years old. Who were kind of the top stars you were listening to that said, "Man, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this for real?
Well, whenever I very first started, it was Carrie Underwood, no doubt. I was like 5 years old. I remember like my first performance was at the Corn Festival in Stanton, Kentucky. The Corn Festival.
Okay, love it.
and they actually still have it. It's so funny. But that was my first performance, and I remember I just sang like Carrie Underwood songs. And of course, at like at 5 years old, like you shouldn't attempt to do Carrie Underwood songs, but I was gonna do it, and I would sing them. And so Carrie Underwood, the Judds were a really big one. I did some Reba stuff. Who else was there? I feel like there was someone else. Those are just like my main girls that I remember, but Carrie has been like my main person for a while. She, I still like love her music, but she's with my new sound. She's kind of not as much like she's like super amazing, but she was kind of my inspiration to get started and the music I listened to a lot whenever I was younger. But now I would say,
who's now?
It's actually kind of the smaller artists that are kind of like growing themselves right now. Like Ian Munsick. Jenna Paulette, those are both really big ones. George Strait, obviously, not a smaller artist though. George Strait, let's see, Alan Jackson's a big one. Who else do we reference? I love Cody Johnson's music. Lauren Elena, yes, she's a big influence of mine. I love her stage presence is great and everything. I love watching her live. So that's just kind of a few, but Ian Munsick and Jenna definitely have their own sound and they kind of have their own brand, and it's definitely more branded to the West, and Ian's from Wyoming, Jenna's from Texas. So it's really cool having those influences to kind of lean off of and to learn from, but those are mine now. And then Carrie was mine when I was younger, but
I like that too, because like I said, we've had Jenna Paulette on the show, and she can tell you, man, she's sings like there's no tomorrow. She can sing the entire phone book, and just a pleasure to talk to here at the same time. And so if I get to talk to her again, I'll put in a good word for Mikayla Lane here. I'm from the Backstage Pass, not too shabby there when it comes down to it.
Super sweet. Yeah. I love
it. Tyler tunes in, says hello too. So hello, Tyler, and hi, Kirsty. So appreciate you tuning in. Tyler to us. Hey, let's jump into a little bit of rapid fire with Mikayla. We love doing this, and always a fun part of the show. We get to know you more on a more personal basis, and we get to have a little fun. Hey, the good thing is no right or wrong answers. All right, latest television shows to get into to binge watch. What do you enjoy to binge watch?
What's a good one? I really like Outer Banks.
Nice.
It's a good one. Yes,
I can't get into it. I can't.
It's so good. You have to.
Okay. I heard it gets better, so I was going to.
No, it really does. Like, I promise. You just got to you just have to force yourself to keep it. It gets good.
Okay. Okay. When you are, because you're so busy, obviously there's some sort of caffeine that happens. How do you take your coffee or whatever that looks like for you?
This is funny. We were actually just talking about this. So I hate coffee, but if I go to Starbucks, I get like, what's my order? It's like a caramel frappuccino thing with like cold foam and like extra pumps of sugar. It's literally it's literally not even caffeine, but I love watermelon Red Bulls for like a good burst of energy. Those things are good. You should try those.
Watermelon Red Bulls. Love it.
That's a good combination there. All right, favorite foods to get into. I mean, of course, your age now, probably just eat whatever. Is it like what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is definitely filet, like steak, medium rare. I love
good old country girl, of course.
I actually really love seafood too. I'd say my like weird thing that like some people haven't really heard of, which like I hope you guys have. It's calf fries. Whenever I tell people I like, y'all don't know what calf fries are?
Being from Texas, that's one thing I've not heard. I do not know.
Bro.
Educate us. What is that?
Okay, well.
do our listeners, do you guys know what calf fries are?
I wish I did.
I don't want to tell. I don't want to tell. Well, it's
like baby cows?
It's the private parts of the baby cow.
And that's what you like.
They're so good. Okay.
I love it. Okay.
Stacey says moving on. She says
yes. Everyone has their, I like chicken liver, so that's got to be kind of in that category of specialty. So my My question was just going to be catered to you because we normally do other things for rapid fire. But what is you said school's not the forte, but what's like your favorite subject?
Well, let's see. Probably. I mean, if there was like if I had to take like home ec or something like that I feel like actually relates to life, then I would really like that. But I don't have a class like that. So probably, what even are my classes? I mean, I think sometimes history is interesting. But other than that, not really much. I'm honestly like trying to remember what classes I'm even taking this year.
That's awesome.
But right now for the classes I am taking, probably history. But if I got to take like a cool class, it'd probably be something like with like real life, like home ec or something like that.
I like that.
Cool.
Something useful, something you put to use in the real world that's going to be beneficial out there too, especially something that's kind of like, my buddy teaches high school and he goes, I'm teaching them how to like write checks. This is a unit we're on now for like a math model course or whatever. I'm like, well, there's beneficial.
That's helpful.
Write checks. It's helpful.
That is because I get so mad because like I'll literally be sitting on my computer for hours just like learning about how to isolate. I always tell my mom this, but, like I'm always complaining about like I always learn how to isolate X. And I'm like, what is this like helping me? Like, because like I like want to know how to do stuff that I'll actually need. Like I'm never gonna need this in my entire life, but it's whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Oh wait, I wanted to ask, how many times have you been roping and riding?
Well, I actually ride a lot for my free, or not a ton, but like whenever I can, I love riding. I've actually wanted to learn how to barrel race for a while, but I just don't have the time.
Wow.
But my dad did rough stock and all that, so he's like a great horseman, and I learned a lot from him. But I ride in my free time as much as I can.
Cool. Awesome.
I like that. I like this. All right. I'll leave you with this one. Let's talk about the vacations when I guess all this officially comes to some sort of an end and they open the borders back up, or if it's statewide here in the States. We've had many artists say, excuse me, they're going to go to the beach or just to stay here in the States. Some have said Greece and Europe and Canada and all these different places. If you could pick, where would your bucket list vacation be?
I really want to go to Australia. I think that's a really cool place because it has kind of like the ocean and it's like beautiful over there, and then it has like the deserts, and I think that's really cool. So, and I'm sure my dad would agree. We both agree on that Australia would be a really cool place to go to.
I like that. I think that's a good way to end the show, no doubt, too. That's one of the bucket lists that I could say would be on mine and probably on Kirsty's, too, as well, no doubt, to go see beautiful country over there. We've had a bunch of Australian country artists to come on the show here, too, and always appreciate their time, too. So if you missed that, you go back and check it out at the sportsguyspodcast.com. And, of course, Mikayla Lane music.com for the tour dates and everything else out there, and appreciate all you guys. Todd, what's going on, man? Glad to have you tune in today. Miles from Nowhere is out there across all the digital platforms. If you don't have your copy, make sure you go grab that. No doubt Henry and Valenia and just everybody. Chris, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're back next week. A pretty cool show coming up. One of the top artists in the industry, Maggie Baugh, is going to stop by here next week. And, of course, Allie Colleen here in a few weeks, and Kent Blasey and Ken Wilbur. We're just going to stay busy. Dallas Remington is coming back, of course, here in a few weeks. So be sure to stay tuned for that. More. And Kirsty and Jeff live from the red carpet next Tuesday. The Love for Music City 5th annual event is coming up. And they may run into, who knows, out there. Our good friends T. Graham Brown. I'm sure Jeannie Seeley's going to be there, last year's award recipient. And this event honors Crystal Gale for the Bill Anderson Award, the iconic award out there for the Lifetime Achievement in country music. So you guys have fun at that event. Take a lot of pictures. We have a lot of video to stream the red carpet event, and eat well out there. Thanks to Bangtail Whiskey. And Mikayla, we appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet y'all.
You got it. Great to meet you. MikaylaLanemusic.com. And, of course, we're back next week with some great shows. Maggie Baugh coming on and a whole lot more here from the Backstage Pass. You guys be sure and keep it tuned to us. We appreciate all the listeners, and have a great night.